It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas
Oh my God.
everywhere you go. And people are wondering how to make money with drop shipping in 2024. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Every year's the same. We've been doing this since 2016, and very little has changed. All right, listen, you're banging shit all you complain about my sound quality and you're banging your water bottle all over the desk. People are leaving the stream like crazy.
My bad. My bad. My bad. I gotta turn on transparency mode on the AirPod Maxes. I can't hear what's going on in the outside world.
All
Now
right.
I can.
Well, listen, we got a very special presentation for everyone out there. How to make $1 million drop shipping in 2024. What's the same and what's different? And then we're going to take your questions live. Here we go.
That was a nice jingle, Joe.
I just made it up right on the spot. You like that?
I know, yeah.
Yeah. No chat GPT here. This is my chat GPT on in my head. I use my noodle. All right, listen. Let's get to the presentation. Then we're going to take your questions. Matt says, "I'm looking forward to becoming a millionaire next year. Please stop singing, Joe." Well, stay
Hey,
tuned.
I
Listen,
liked it.
listen. This is $1 million in revenue, so it's going to get you a nice chunk of income, but it might not make you a millionaire if you hit this benchmark.
I mean, what's good is, though, if you can achieve $1 million
Yeah,
in revenue drop shipping, there's no reason why you should really be going back from there. That's
no,
what we found to be really good about it is if you can achieve a milestone, it's unlikely it's just going to crash on you unless you are doing some stupid shit in the first place, like not actually making money and not keeping track of things. But you get what I'm saying.
yeah.
Once it works, it works.
Yeah, let's get right into it. This is how you're going to do $1 million in sales 2024 drop shipping. I made these slides. I wanted to start with the niche misconception. I was going to call it the niche conception, but I don't know. I don't know if people would understand it, but whatever. So the idea is don't pick a niche, pick a good domain in a vertical. And here I have some examples of some classic great American companies. We got Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Pfizer. Now, all household names, of course. And when we think about carbonated beverages, we think about Coca-Cola. When we think about coffee, we think about Starbucks. When we think about, you know, staying healthy, we
All
think about
pharmaceuticals.
Pfizer. So, this is what I want you to do with your domain name, but obviously you're not going to be in any of these large industries. You might be in a different smaller industry or a subset of an industry. One of the examples we like to use was one of our first stores. Our domain name was actually kind of bad, but it was about standing desks. In retrospect, that may have been an office supply store. So you could dominate the office supply niche in terms. I'm not talking about, you know, paper and notebooks here like Staples or something. I'm talking about a luxury office or a law office or something, you know, specific that you could pick a good domain around, but that's also broad.
Agreed. I don't have any comments there. Actually, I got a comment. I think the original name we made for that store was something like Ergo Bros.
Yes, it was. We should have
And
stuck with that one.
yes, in hindsight, that would have been a better name because we could have centered our store around ergonomic office supplies or even just ergonomics. And that would have given us a lot more room to grow. But instead, we kind of pigeonholed ourselves into one particular niche. And, we suffered for it. Not any real suffering because we made 6 figures profit easy off that store. and it was not much work. It was nothing to sneeze at, but could have been better.
Could have been better. Yeah, we didn't know what we didn't know, and it's kind of funny to think about that. We actually had a better idea out of the gate, and we made the mistake of picking a domain name that we wouldn't recommend today.
Yeah.
Interesting. I totally forgot about that. Okay. So in 2024, I want you to set a New Year's resolution. I want you to call 200 suppliers and stop being a little witch. Now, I don't want to curse on stream, of course. And this was a good replacement because witches are solitary beings. They live alone, usually in a cabin in the woods, stirring their little pots, and they like to keep to themselves. But the truth is, to make money with high ticket dropshipping, you got to hit the phones. You can't be in your cabin all day making potions and things.
At least get comfortable with talking to people on the phone. It's not like they can see you. It's not like they even know who you are, really. It's fake.
You could look like this and they won't know.
Exactly. It's not real life. Calling suppliers is not real life. Think of it like a game. Like you're playing World of Warcraft. You're on some little quest. And your quest is call 200 suppliers.
Yeah, listen.
I don't know.
I put this number up here because, it's a lot. But if this is something you're struggling with, if you call 200, I think the odds of you not getting at least one great supplier out of it are very, very slim. Not saying you have to call 200, but what I like to do is I like to set everything like really high. Like, all right, I'm going to do this many iterations of this thing. And even if I never hit it, I like to do that because even if I hit like a quarter of it, it still usually turns out well.
Yeah, if you get some really good suppliers in the first 10, 20 that you call, then you could stop.
No,
but the point is that people
no stopping.
Until you list them, sell them, stuff like that. But the point you're trying to make is set a big goal. Because when people just call suppliers without actually having a goal in mind, they call 5, they get discouraged, and now they're being a little witch.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Set a lofty goal, and if you call 5 and you get rejected, then you got a lot more to go. But
Exactly.
one thing, Joe, supplier acquisition, I think, is really not a huge issue for people in our group. People get in with suppliers like 100% of the time. So I haven't seen that be an issue. There's a small subset of people that have maybe some quality issues. But I think as we get into this presentation, I'll clarify that point a little bit more.
Yeah. So this next one is something that we've kind of noticed some people doing, and that is they start their ads and then they stop their ads. I think one of the things that we've really been advising people against is that this is a very iterative process. You got to keep your ads going. Obviously, you don't want to spend what you don't have. That can get you into hot water. But you want to make sure you keep spending because the ads seem to be a very iterative process and you can't stop it. You should only turn things down. And maybe
Right.
go in more depth on this because this is really your territory.
Well, when it comes to supplier acquisition, I think this is a super important aspect as well, because when you're calling suppliers before you even get started, that's going to be your worst round of supplier acquisition. It's going to be your most, let's say, or your least targeted. But once you actually start running ads, what you're going to find is, oh, wow, I'm starting to sell stuff. People are starting to call me. I'm starting to see what products actually are good, which ones aren't really moving the needle. And then a number of things happen. When it comes to supplier acquisition, you can choose to call the suppliers in the space where you're actually selling stuff or find more in those specific product categories. But also, people don't understand, like, oh, I got 50 clicks on my website today. Why did nobody buy? It takes time. It's not just that you're getting 50 visitors a day and they're clicking and they're not buying, they're leaving forever. Some people come back. You run that for a month. What is that? 1,500 visitors in a month. You run that for 2 months, 3,000 visitors. 90 days, 4,500 visitors. So you can't just think about it in terms of the number of people per day. There's almost a running total that's happening of people that are falling into this pool that they've shopped with you. And what we've seen is when people stop their ads, they kill their momentum entirely versus just running your ads low and slow so that when people search, they can find you again. It's that simple.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about this in terms of search engine optimization over the long term, because I think this is more important than ever, is that there is no doing SEO without paid ads on a new site is extremely, extremely difficult nowadays in the world of AI. And I think in general, running paid ads gets Google to recognize your website as a real business. And, you know, they of course, Google would deny this, but if you're spending money on ads, they know you have, they know you want to spend money on ads. So why wouldn't they want to show your website organically so that you can make more sales and spend more money on ads versus another website that's not running ads, you know?
Yep. Yeah. And one kind of problem I think I have with a lot of people that teach online marketing and maybe some other people that have been doing drop shipping that haven't really been doing it for that long is that somebody will have success in doing one store or doing it for a year and then turn around and try and be like somebody that tries to teach people. What they're doing is they're kind of giving you yesterday's lottery numbers. Like, hey, this is what worked for me. These are the numbers. Take a look at what I've done. Versus somebody that actually understands the space and has been through it through other people and through ourselves in multiple different variations. And one thing that we never did that I think is one of the biggest contributors to our success now is we never turned off the ads. When we started our first store, there were tough times. Maybe there were times where we lost money in a particular month. Maybe there were times where we overspent, but we never turned off our ads. And I could just feel that if we did that, it could have completely ruined us because you lose that momentum. To start your ads again, you're going to say, oh, am I ready to turn the ads back on? Is this in place? Is that in place? You get in your head versus the ads are running. I don't care how much you're putting into them. They're running. Things are live. You have to make decisions on the fly. You have to do things now, and it puts you in a better frame and it sets you up for more success.
Yeah, and Mike, I really have to credit you with this because, you know, I'm like a schmuck when it comes to this stuff. I need to see fast results, and I have a tendency to want to cut things early. But you're like one of those. You ever see those tarantulas, or they build the den that's like it blends in with the ground, and they wait for like days and days and days for like an insect to come by.
I mean, that sounds like any sort of spider.
Yeah, exactly. You got the patience of a spider. You're just willing to build the web and wait. Whereas, you know, I feel like because of my first venture, I still have this. This still sticks with me today. Because this is almost like a gift and a curse. You know, I was very successful early on with the first online business I ever did, the second online business I ever did. I had a lot of not like huge success, but fast success. So I liked seeing those hits. I like seeing the graph. I like seeing the sales number go up right away. And if I don't, then I get a little like itchy. So you know, you have the patience here on our team, and that's something that I realized after seeing people turn off their ads and not have the patience. I'm starting to realize how important that is.
I think it's a combination of patience, but it's also a bit of just not getting too emotional about it. I think people want to react emotionally to, you know, a week without sales or whatever it is. And really, in these situations, there is usually a reason. There's like a big contributing factor as to why they may not be having the success that they should be having. whether it's where is your ad money going? Who is your ad money going to? And that's just on aside from the financial aspect of just spending more than you have. It's just, yeah, you have to be a little bit level-headed, and just that's why kind of being fiscally conservative helps, because you start running low on funds. That takes a huge emotional toll. You have to start kind of I don't know, you have to behave differently.
Do you know someone's watching on Twitch?
That's fantastic.
Listen,
I forgot that we even aired on Twitch.
I don't know. I checked the box. So listen, you're watching on Twitch. Leave a comment. I want to know who you are.
We're big on Twitch.
Listen, I'm getting Stormgate when it comes out, baby. I'm building a whole gaming PC. So actually, I got the Kickstarter. February 2024. I'm done with online business. Gaming
What is
only.
it?
It's a new RTS game that's coming out.
You got a Kickstarter for it?
Yeah, I paid to get into the early beta in February 2024.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm retiring, guys. Gaming channel, the Bow Gaming channel's going live.
I think that could really be a hit. I think you could be a good streamer, Joe.
I don't know. Somebody like I feel like I'm not good enough. Like some people that are like really good at certain games and they stream, they could like talk a lot while they play. And that's tough. But yeah.
Sing some jingles.
Let's move on here. Get a cashback rewards credit card, because this is going to greatly aid your margins and give you more to reinvest. I like 2% cashback rewards flat. Obviously, there's travel ones that give you bonus stuff for travel. And then there's ones that give you bonus on advertising. So these could be good options too. But 2% is a good number. And this allows you to double dip into the product cost and to your ad cost and then get cash back on both. So, adding 2% to your margin for a $5,000 product is, what is that? $200?
What's 2% of a million, Joe?
Oh, it's $100. Sorry. 2% of a million would be 2,000, right?
No. What's 10%?
10,000?
2% of a million is $20,000.
You're right. All right. So there you go. Nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at for just running your business.
Yeah.
It's a nice little additional add-on you get. You run $1 million of cost of goods through there. Boom. Or $1 million, between cost of goods, between ad spend and all that. It's a phenomenal way to just get a nice little chunk of change without having to do anything extra.
All right. So this is another one. This goes back to one of the first points you made, is that you need to call back suppliers that rejected you. So, when you first call a supplier, don't think that, oh my God, I have to be so prepared, and if they reject me, then it's all over. You're going to get the best suppliers typically on your second and third time calling them. This happens to us, I mean, pretty much without fail. Every time, every store we've made, almost every time, we've gotten some of our biggest suppliers after the store has been live and making sales for 6 months, a year, multiple years. So this is key. And there's other things, you can even get crazy with it. You can go to trade shows. There's multiple levels to which you could take this. Once you're a big name in your little vertical, think of it back to one of these first slides. You launch a beverage company and Coca-Cola wants to take you on. This is kind of a similar situation. Once you're a name in the industry that you're in, the suppliers are going to flock to you like little sheep.
Yeah, as you go along, your success rate with suppliers should get closer and closer to 100%.
Absolutely. So this next point I have is that you want to make sure your site is well organized, meaning your menus should be, say, someone's coming for a ergonomic standing desk. You want to craft your offerings around what else that person would want, of course. And your menus should reflect this. So your menu should help people browse for different sizes, different styles. Obviously, you can use Google Keyword Planner to see how people are searching these things, and those should make up your collections and your menus when you do this.
Yeah, I think this is really important for on page, and we don't get too deep into conversion rate stuff and all that because, frankly, Joe, we've spent a lot of money on conversion rate stuff in regards to high ticket dropshipping, like conversion rate optimization things, and there's not a lot that moves the needle. But one thing that does move the needle is just giving people what they want.
Yeah.
So if you know you're selling a ergonomic standing desk, that better be part of your menu. Standing desks, all right, it breaks down into the different sizes you have. Making it easy for somebody to find what they're looking for is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, and the main reason why I wanted to bring this up is because we've seen new people come to us and they'll show us their store, and then it's got like it's got like e-bikes, and then it's got like range hoods, and it's like this whole mess of products that there's no real way for a person to find what they're looking for on that site.
Well, I mean, number one, yeah, why are you selling e-bikes and range hoods on the same store? Number two, how would you organize that, Joe?
I mean, if I was doing that, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But if I was, maybe I would have to have multiple really big mega menus broken down into like home, and then like something
home,
like
outdoor,
that. Home, outdoor. I mean, you have to really look at. Yeah, at that point, you're going into like Amazon territory with like many subcategories and hierarchy and things like that. But I mean, yeah, I would say the best way to figure out how to organize a site like that you shouldn't even make would be to look at something like Amazon or Walmart and see how they do it. But
right, when you're doing a super broad store like that, it's just it's so dumb for a variety of ways. But even like the ergonomics example, there are so many hidden products within ergonomics that we would have never known unless we were actually doing it. Like we were selling these stupid little seats. They weren't little. Some of them were pretty expensive, but like these ergonomic seats that there were, they weren't just chairs. But these ridiculous little product types, they exist in basically every vertical. And unless you commit to a vertical, you're probably never going to find them. If you just have a super broad store, super general, and all right, range hoods, that sounds good. I'm going to call some of these. All right, eBay, that sounds good. I'm going to call some of these. You're never going to wind up drilling down to those super niche product types that are often going to be some of the most open and profitable product types you'll have in your store.
Yeah, let me show. So this is,
yeah.
This is one of the things that I mean we had no idea existed in like
I forgot about this one
in the ergonomic space.
Yeah, this is the pivot.
Yeah.
So the bottom of it is not even a flat surface. It's like a little, like a Bosu ball, if you will. So you kind of
yeah, you got to be a nut job to sit on one of these things, honestly.
Can you find the it was the focal upright, the Lotus, I think it was called, the Locust seat.
Hold on.
I want to pull this up because somebody literally bought one of these to bring to their kid's soccer game. And to see
no way they bought this.
I swear.
Hold on. I actually can't find one of these. Hold on.
I see you looking at it. But in the meantime, we got Kenneth saying, hi, guys. What's up, Kenneth? Mohammed Al-Said. Hey, guys. How you doing? We're doing good, man. How you doing? Prometheus. Good morning, boys. We're not in the morning anymore. Did you find it?
Yeah, hold on a second. This?
Yes.
This is the Locust? Someone brought this to their kids'
Somebody bought one of these to bring to their kids' soccer game.
Listen, that just goes to show you how much stuff is out there. You know, it always blows my mind what kind of stuff people buy. The American consumer is absolutely insane.
Yeah, the European mind cannot comprehend this right here.
No.
So, where are we at in the presentation, Joe?
Well organized. Yeah. You want to serve up back to the American consumer for a second. I don't know if people really know what a diner is. This seems to be like an East Coast thing, but
They
if
got
you're,
diners all over.
yeah, but I don't know actually. If you've ever been to a diner, their menu is like, it's like a phone book. They literally have like 10 million things on the menu, and it's almost anything you could think of. You want to be more like a Chipotle, where the menu is narrowed down. There's a good amount of things. It's optimized, and people walk in, they look at what they're, it's easy to find what you're looking for. You can see the food right there. It's all laid out, and you're just kind of picking, rather than, you got to find your way through this phone book. Now, listen, people love going to the diner. I'm not saying that it's bad, but for our purposes, we want to be more like a Chipotle.
I think the diner demographic is dying out. Maybe someone will have something to say about this, but like a diner, they're gonna have friggin' meatloaf. They're gonna have a burrito. They're gonna have pudding. I don't know, but like if you really wanted a good version of any of those things, you're not going to the diner.
I don't know if it's dying out. I see them packed all the time, to be honest with you.
I feel like they're packed with
boomers,
old people. Yeah,
I don't
know. I could be wrong. I don't know who goes to the diner these days, besides for maybe kids, when it's laid out and that's the only thing that's open, but you get the point. Nobody is going to a diner for a good version of something. It's like a pure convenience type thing. If you want a good version of something, you want to have the best and kind of the most options of a particular thing, you go to a restaurant specialized in that thing. It's the same with e-commerce.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, I just want to touch on something unrelated. You said that people, in other places might not, like, they might know what a diner is, but someone was telling me something yesterday. They have a business in Texas, and they sell like, it's like a tea shop. And I was like, what the hell is that? And apparently in like the South and in, I guess, Texas, people buy like these energy teas. And it's something I've never seen. Like, they're like multiple colors. And they have like, people get like protein powder in them and all this other stuff. And it's something I have certainly never seen before. So I think there's things like that.
Well, I think Panera tried to roll out something like that and they killed 2 people.
Oh.
They had like a supercharged caffeinated lemonade and 2 people died from it.
Oh. Well, I don't even know if all these are caffeinated. It's like mad different. It's like 100 different like flavors of concentrated like tea powder. And there's like tutti frutti, blueberry, pizzazz, like things like that, like bubblegum tea. Like, I don't know, but apparently people are like super addicted to them.
I don't know.
I never heard.
But Joe, diners, drive-ins, and dives.
True. But do they ever go to diners outside of the East Coast, or is it only drive-ins and dives?
I don't know. I've heard Joey Diaz talk about going to the diner in L.A. He's like, dog, you go to the diner on Sunset. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
So I know they definitely have them in L.A.
Yeah.
Maybe out between L.A. and New York, they don't have them. But yeah, New Jersey is like the diner capital of the world, I believe. So
yeah,
that's so we're not. Everybody probably has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, we can move on to capture capture emails and email regularly about sales. So you could use things.
So, were you eating a melon when you were making these slides?
Oh, I wish. They're not ripe yet. I got 5 sitting in the garage, just waiting for them to get a little soft, and then I'm gonna eat them. Why? What's wrong with this slide? What's wrong with this slide?
Capture emails and email regularly sales.
Well, they get the idea. So, you got to capture emails you should have an ongoing email building list. And it's super easy with e-commerce because you don't got to come up with some super crazy offer and like download my ebook. You just give them a coupon code. You could have them take a quiz. You could do a spin the wheel, and that's it. Don't overthink it, but make sure you're doing it. That's all I'm saying.
And Privy now, Privy, for people that don't know, is like the pop-up. They make pop-ups. They also do like email for e-commerce.
Yeah.
Privy makes it so easy and great for email marketing because you can literally set up an expiring coupon code inside of Privy. Every time someone signs up, Privy creates a new code. They build it into the email. And so you could set up, all right, they sign up, they got 4 days to buy, 3 days to buy. And now they're going to get hit with an email with a unique code that is expiring for 4 days. People don't realize the effect this has on sales. Emailing sales regularly, yes, it's a good thing, but just as good and just as necessary is the original email capture into, all right, come back, your code's going to expire. Come back, your code's going to expire. This is just classic online marketing 101 stuff. And yeah, with Privy, it's super easy now.
Yeah, you've been a real Privy fanboy as of late, huh?
I'm trying to get them on the show. It's Privy, they're doing things that I don't think anybody's doing right now. Klaviyo, they're out.
Maybe, you know what, Mike? Maybe that would be a good like sub niche that we could get into. In
Email
terms,
marketing?
yeah. Like it
Yeah.
could become a big affiliate for Privy.
For Privy? Yeah, I think we actually signed up for the affiliate program. So
I think we've been in the affiliate program and we've made certainly made some sales, I think. I don't even know.
I don't know, but I do strongly suggest Privy, not even from an affiliate standpoint, but it was really after I got on that call with them. They offered to do a call with us on Black Friday, just showing us like the technology. I didn't even realize the stuff you can do on Privy. And yeah, we implemented some of it for Black Friday. It worked out amazing. We got like over 700 email signups in like 4 days. So it was good stuff.
Yeah, we have some affiliate commissions sitting from them, which are pretty interesting.
But it just I think I'm a Privy fanboy, but I also just hate Klaviyo. Klaviyo, their flow, they allow good segmentation when it comes to like, if somebody looked at this, you can send them this email, or like a lot of really detailed technical stuff. But for what we do, it's kind of overkill, and you have to deal with integrating a pop-up thing. Klaviyo does pop-ups, but they suck. So you used to use Privy, put it into Klaviyo, and do the sequence that way. Versus now, you can integrate Privy with its own email thing. You can even do text message marketing in it, and you can do unique codes. Privy makes the codes; they set them to expire. You can put products in your email. It's so good. It's so good, and it's easy. So yeah, I'm a Privy fanboy. People should be as well.
All right, Q&A. What questions do you guys have?
You ever have to go to a lunch and learn, Joe?
Yes, many times. I
feel like never had to do that.
Yeah, it was always. I feel like there was always like a lot of. Well, do you understand like what it is typically?
Yeah, they make you take your friggin' lunch break, and you got to go and learn some shit.
Right, but it's usually sponsored by like another company. So like the company I worked at, the suppliers would come in and try to get us to like switch like an ingredient or something that we were using. So they would pay for and sponsor the lunch and learn. So it was always more lunching and not a lot of learning, because people didn't really give a shit. Like, it was like a sales presentation with a free lunch.
But they would like catering and stuff, so they would bring like, it'd be like food to kind of draw you in. And
yeah. The food was always nice, but people wouldn't pay attention to the presentations.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. I saw some other guy who he does like land stuff. He has like a land YouTube, like advertise He would do like lunch and learns inside of his course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people in some way like the corporate stuff, even if they're like off doing their own thing like this. But some people might.
I don't know where I think he just exit. I think he just. I don't know. I'll start taking some of these questions.
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
I think I hit the thing in my mouse.
Okay, so Lockie says, have you ever dealt with payment processor issues with Shopify payments? We've never dealt with these issues. We have had a couple students deal with them. One student who sold his store for over 500,000, he got, I think he was, well, this was like during COVID when they were having a lot of these issues. He got banned from Shopify payments like right out of the gate, but he used authorize.net and ended up doing really well in selling his store. So we don't see these issues all that often. We saw them a lot during like COVID height.
Yeah, like a lot of the supply chain 2021 type stuff, because there was a lot of, I guess, people not being able to fulfill orders and different issues. So Shopify payments really cracked down on like, are you fulfilling your orders and stuff? So do you have a particular issue? If so, message us, because we do have a lot of experience seeing other people deal with it. We've had maybe a little scare back in 2021. Shopify did like say, hey, what's going on here? And we were able to kind of have them not take away our Shopify payments. So we do know a little bit about it.
Yeah. So Nix Akalaya. Hello. What do you think about 10 apps video or something like that? Just best for marketing, best for SEO. Just we need the correct apps to build a strong e-commerce store. Never heard of 10 apps. Oh, they want us to make a video on the 10 apps, I guess, that we use.
Yeah.
Which we could certainly do. I wouldn't mind. People like that stuff. We should do that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Thank you, Nix.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But really, at the end of the day, it's like, it's probably less than 10 apps. I mean, I could probably come up with 10, but the real main ones you need, just something to sync up your products to Google Merchant Center. So we like sim process for that, and then Privy. And really, those are the main two to actually get started. But yeah, we can make a separate video on this.
We're gonna make a separate video on that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Because there is actually, I mean, I always forget about the apps, to be honest with you. I feel like they're so like unimportant, I guess. It's always like if we need something, we'll get an app for it. And then I kind of even forget about what it is. Lockie says, also, do you guys open an LLC for each store to keep funds separate? Or do you have one LLC with several DBAs for each store? Now we have separate LLCs for everything. But yeah, so in the beginning, we didn't do this, but that was a while back. I would say one LLC for each store is best practice. If you can nest it under an S Corp, if you're making enough money to justify that, that would be a question for your CPA. I think that would be the best way to go about it. And then he says, Nick says, and also, what do you think about top niches video for 2024? Listen, we're going to make a top niches video, but that's just for the audience. I feel like those niches videos are kind of a waste of time. Like, they're good, I guess, to get some ideas and inspiration. But what I'm saying is I feel like they don't actually contribute to people's success, believe it or not, as much as the tips we've mentioned here on this stream.
They're purely bullshit, is what you're trying to say. Yeah. They're good for getting views and getting people in, and maybe they watch some of our other videos and kind of realize things, but nobody has ever been helped with a top 10 niche video. No. Because it never ends. You need one for not just 2024. What about if I made it in January? It was March. Or is it the same? Are the niches? It's niche neuroticism, Joe.
Yeah, it doesn't work the way people think, which is why, we give people. I'm going to start using this analogy, Mike. I don't know where I heard this. I heard this somewhere, but I want to start using this analogy. So what we like to do is give people a map to get to the general vicinity of where the treasure is. And the people are the archaeologists. and they need to keep digging with their shovels in many different spots, almost like digging randomly based on the map that we gave them. But once they hit something, they hit upon something, that's when they're going to get out the little brushes and start really digging in that one area. But in any situation, we can help you get to the general vicinity of where you need to go. We could help provide you with the tools to dig. But I feel like the niches video, it kind of goes against that principle because people are just looking for, this is the magic niche. If I get into this niche, I'm going to win. But that's not how it works.
Right. It is almost like a treasure map.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, how do I find the buried treasure? How do I find the buried treasure? And then you hold up a map, you say, oh, here's the buried treasure. And
Yeah.
then what are you going to say? Oh, everybody saw the video. Now the buried treasure is going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's just a never-ending cycle of, is this niche still good? Is dropshipping still possible? Oh, everybody else saw the video, so I don't know if I should get into this niche. What about this one? If there's 10 options, I don't know which one to pick. It never actually satisfies that craving in your head of, okay, this is a good niche. I'm going to make money on it. The only way to satisfy that is to actually just pick something and do it. We've made videos over the years about so many niches. They all still work.
Listen, we can make videos where we look at a niche and like look at the sales or the search volume and like look at all these metrics, but it's going to be nonsense. It's going to be nonsense. All that stuff is nonsense. Don't pay attention to that. It's really like the treasure map thing versus this is exactly where we can show you the general vicinity of where to go, but we can't. No one can tell you exactly where the treasure is buried. All right. Fernando, can I use a debit card to pay suppliers with the money from customers after a sale? I can't get a credit card at the moment. Yeah, you can. But
You just got to
obviously,
be careful giving a supplier your debit card. So
yeah.
there's no buffer. They can overcharge you. They can double charge you. They can screw something up, and you got to make sure you have the money in there to support that.
Yeah.
You have no protection against a chargeback, as far as I understand.
What business address provider do you guys use? I don't want to get banned from banks and GMC. Well, you don't really need an address. Well, you could use your home address. You don't necessarily have to list that on your site. You could also look for, I wouldn't use like a well-known virtual address. You could look, if you really want to get crazy with it, you can like look at a lesser known like office space locally that will let you use a mailbox. But again, I don't think that's really necessary. I don't know. I don't want to get too hung up on this one. Because you don't really need, like, people get approved for GMC and all that without an address. So I don't think it's a make or break factor. I do want to say, Mike, now that we're running a lot of different Google ads for a lot of different things now. I would say the most critical thing that people don't realize is having, I feel like you should have an overarching account if you're going to be running multiple things, like under the same business or something with the same payment method. Does that make sense?
Like a Google Manager account?
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty important.
Yeah. If you plan to have multiple stores, it's a good idea. It does. I don't know if that will really affect your GMC. That's like a separate kind of issue. But yeah.
So Prometheus USX 47 says 2021 Type B. What does that mean?
I can't explain it, Joe.
Lucky says, yeah, basically started began doing sales and I got a few random reef shop. I have some documents. I was doing it online retail. I was also fulfilling high risk orders. They
That's
put
a no. Sorry, keep going.
What? They put a 30% hold on all funds for 4 months, which ruined everything. My question is for the future. Do you tell Shopify that you're dropshipping, or should I lie and say I have a warehouse?
Don't say that you're dropshipping. It's a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You do have a warehouse in the form of your suppliers. You use your suppliers' warehouses. they don't know what agreements you have in place with them. By assigning an agreement with a supplier, you're basically agreeing that they will use their warehouse space for the sake of fulfilling orders for you. So you should never tell Shopify you're dropshipping. That's like a no word. Why? Whenever we talk to people about dropshipping, oh, it's the stuff from China, you ship it over, whatever. That's what Shopify thinks it is too.
Well, the sad part is, and this is ridiculous, like that Shopify does this, is that if you Google Shopify dropshipping, they have so much content on how to do exactly what you just said that you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So
that is true. But also fulfilling high risk orders, why are you fulfilling a high risk order? You're probably going to get a chargeback from that. There's a reason it's high risk. So unless you are actually verifying it's not high risk, which sounds to me like it's a new store for you, if holding 30% of sales is ruining everything for you, shouldn't be fulfilling high risk orders. And don't say you're doing online retail either. It's like, I don't know. Well, obviously you're doing online retail if you're using Shopify. They understand that. But like, you don't have to say, oh, I only sell online, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's easy ways. There's better ways to phrase things. You could say like, we work with warehouses in such and such areas that fulfills our orders. We have contracts in place with these warehouses. Here are some invoices showing this.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to phrase things that are, I guess, more professional.
Right. Nick says, I like Klaviyo, but you don't. And what is alternative for that? What the alternative is Privy. I also like Georgia's, but most stores use Tidio. This is very important things. It's not super important. I mean, we still use Klaviyo to a degree. We use it for many years. We use it on stores we've sold for multiple six figures. Even with Tidio, like, it's just a chat app. Tidio has some cool stuff, but those things have the function is not like make or break. They all basically do the same thing. So I also have a question about theme. Which Shopify theme is your choice for stores, or using your own theme for students? So Empire is good. In the past, we've used Shoptimized. One of our students was actually using a really good theme. It looked really cool. I don't know if you saw it, Joe. You know what I'm talking about.
Is this a female student?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, so that's one we might have to explore too. But there's a lot of good themes. There's a lot of good themes as long as it looks like what you're trying to emulate. We're trying to emulate Wayfair, Home Depot, like large e-commerce stores specialized in selling high-priced items. So if you look at Barbecue Guys, you look at Home Depot, you look at Wayfair, they have a lot of the same elements on their site. And so, again, you just have to really see, okay, is this theme, does it have a big search bar? Does it have menus that are conducive to an e-commerce store? Versus something like a fashion store isn't going to have a big menu area. It's not going to have the same level of navigation. It's going to be more geared towards visual stuff. So that's my take on that.
One of my pet peeves, well, buildassetsonline.com/empire if you want to throw us a bone and use our affiliate link there. That's the theme we recommend to new students. But one of my pet peeves with themes is that when you see not a shopping cart, but like a shopping bag, that is what I would not recommend. Stay away from any theme that has a shopping bag.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where were we here? Porta Deals, would you cooperate with a supplier that doesn't accept returns? Standard is 14 days. I also have some that accept returns, but they pay just 75% for them. So basically a 25% restocking fee. But they have plenty of products. Yeah, I would cooperate with them. Just make this clear on your return policy page. This brand, these items are non-returnable. And then the other brand, brand X you have to pay for return shipping and a 25% restocking fee. So that's really, you would hope the brand is reasonable, like the one that doesn't accept returns. If they totally screw up, they're going to need to honor that. But usually there's a reason why they don't accept returns. It's probably something maybe really technical or really like large. So it's probably not outside the norm for that particular product type to have like a really harsh return policy. And again, you see that typically with like large items, with really technical items versus just something cheap, easy to ship, or simple, easy to ship. Then you usually see suppliers be a lot more lax in terms of their return policy. Litmo Health said, is it acceptable to have just about 8 to 11% profit margin after all the ad spend, payment processing, etc.? Of course, I mean more expensive items that cost at least $2,000. I mean, after ad spend, then yeah, it's not like totally terrible. But don't forget that your margin in this case is pretty dependent on your ad spend. Your payment processor fee is fixed, but the amount that you spend in order to generate a sale, that's variable. So if it's not something that is, let's say, desirable for you, then you can always turn down the bids for that particular supplier. And now instead of getting 11% when you make a sale, you get 15% and get some better suppliers. But yeah, it's not, you do 100,000 in sales, you make $10,000, 11,000, nothing to sneeze at. Ketamine, what method of integration suppliers usually use in the US? How do they give access to product list? Do they use XML feed with automatic synchronization? This is way above the heads of the majority of suppliers. Sometimes they give you nothing. Sometimes they give you really detailed drop boxes with everything. It totally varies. Suppliers, they're just as disorganized as the rest of us a lot of the time. We've had it be where you get in. All right, you're in. How do we list your products? I don't know. You just figure it out. So that's kind of the answer is this. You got to just figure it out. Ask them if they have stuff, and then they'll say yes or no. And then you got to just come up with a solution. Yeah, in general, most of them, it completely varies. You have to just take what they give you and make it work. Sometimes we've seen it be too shitty for us to make it work. We got in with a company that was selling like deli cases and stuff. Okay, send us your products. They sent us a friggin' textbook in the mail. Like I can't work with.
Yeah, that if it's online, we could probably make it happen. But if it's just literally a hard copy book, that's going to be tough to list everything. Maybe we should have done it, honestly.
Yeah, there was some barrier to entry there for sure. We probably could have made it work, but I just think one of the things we gave up on. We didn't give them a good try. So
yeah. Listen, I want to know who this Twitch viewer is.
It's probably just a little kid or something. No, I'm kidding. Sorry for the one Twitch viewer we have. I don't know, Joe. Anyway, people want to work with us more one-on-one. Actually pick a niche. Actually start running ads. Actually have $1 million in sales. They can go to buildassetsonline.com/enroll. They can apply for a free call. See if you're a good fit to take it easy. So yeah, what do you want to do here, Joe? Unless we got more questions, I got nothing left to say.
Yeah, listen, I really don't know. I love paid ads. I love the idea that you could spend money and then get money out of the other end.
You're a Google Ads fanboy now.
Yeah. It's amazing to me the effect that we've been doing some local projects for some people that we know, and it's amazing to me how when we've turned on the ads, I do some of the on-page SEO on the site, then we turn on the ads, and the rankings just they shoot up. And when we do something similar, like as a test, and don't turn on the ads, nothing happens.
Yeah, I really wonder what the reason is. If it's because Google is able to crawl better, if it's able to get user data better. That's kind of a big reason, in my opinion, because even with paid ads, you see this sort of snowball effect where, let's say you start the ads and you're bidding 50 cents or whatever. The results you get bidding 50 cents the first day, the second day, the third day are not going to be generally as good as the results you're going to see after 5 days a week, because Google is kind of saying, okay, how are the users reacting to this? How are they reacting to this keyword, that keyword? What are they doing on the page? And once they get comfortable with you and what you're doing, it's okay, more users can come in, more, we're going to show you more and more and more. So maybe Google has some sort of internal quality score for your pages.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you this. You're saying that you could turn down the ads, once you get them running, you can turn them down, and then they will perform similarly, but they might not perform if you start with the bid too low.
So let's say this is a real example. We were working with a student and he had his bids. I don't know, they were pretty respectable bids from what I saw. And he just wasn't getting a lot of traction. He wasn't getting a lot of impressions. So obviously he wasn't getting a lot of clicks. And what we had to wind up doing was increase the bids until basically it forced Google to show him more. And then once that started happening, okay, he started spending a bunch of money, turned the bids back down to what they were previously when he was not getting any traction, and it worked just fine.
So you turned them up and then turned them down and it worked. Did he lose any traffic or no?
I'm sure he lost some traffic, yeah, but the point was that, like, let's say his bid was 50 cents when he started out doing things. He was barely getting like any impressions, whatever. Or, if you're bidding $1, you're bidding $2, you should be getting a good amount of traffic. It was just clear that they weren't showing him for as much as he could be showing for, or wasn't showing him in a high enough position based on his bids. So by turning things up, you're almost brute forcing Google to show you more.
Right.
Then more people come in, and then Google said, okay, this site is okay. People aren't bouncing. It's a good user experience. So it kind of rewards you in a way. And then once it's kind of gotten comfortable with you, you can bring it back down. And you'll get reasonable traffic for that bid.
Right, because it's not showing you just purely based on your bid. It's a combination of your bid and how Google thinks it will do for whatever is being in terms of if it's going to satisfy the search.
It's not just about your bid. Google has a quality score. And so when you run a text ad, when you run a search ad, Google tells you what this quality score is. It's something between 1 and 10.
But you said that's not always reflective of like that. Like we've had bad quality scores for ads that were performing well.
Right, but Google states this explicitly. This is a big component of what Google does. Is it takes your quality score and it takes your bid.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically assigns an ad rank to it.
Mm.
And so let's say somebody has a really good quality score, they're bidding $1. Theoretically, it should just be an auction. So if I'm bidding $1 and they're bidding $1, I should show up higher. Mm-hmm. But because they have a good quality score and they're bidding $1, let's say I have a bad quality score, it might take me $1.50 to show up ahead of them.
How do you see that? Is it in the status tab where it says eligible or whatever? You hover over that.
So when you're doing search ads, quality score is something you could add if you go to columns and then you go to modify columns and then you go to quality score. But yeah, so like some of these sites for e-commerce, I have not seen this be an issue whatsoever. It's pretty easy to get good quality scores, somewhere between 7 and 10. But like on a new account that's not explicitly an e-commerce store, I have trouble getting it past 5. I've tried looking around and watching videos about different things, and I don't have an explanation for it.
Interesting.
Maybe I think sometimes it has to do with the age of the site. It has to do with just how much it trusts you. And Google won't say that, but that's just what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very interesting. I think I keep saying this, but I think in the days of AI, when it comes to SEO, you have a couple different routes. You can go the parasite route, which is going to be kind of like a never-ending game of chasing which sites are going to be good parasites and throwing up your stuff on there. Or you could try to build your own domain authority, which is expensive, takes a long time, whatever. Or you figure out how to be profitable with Google ads and let the rest take care of itself. Because like I said, to me, it's got to be one of the strongest signals that you could show Google is that you're spending a lot of money on ads. Yeah. And I think I really see it. So let me ask you this. We got to get off here. The page that I'm having a lot of trouble ranking right now, is that something that we don't spend a lot of paid traffic money to that page, right? Because it's kind of middle of funnel.
For our e-commerce store?
Yeah.
True. It's not getting a lot of direct traffic through ads.
Yeah, because no, I know, but it's something that
you could try it.
I'm not super eager to do it. I might give up on this page. It's driving me a little crazy, but I do notice that the ones that are ranking do seem to like to spend on it. I do see that come up a lot. So, that's just something to think about. And also the paid ads, like, if the paid ads are getting 20 to 30% of the click-through rate, and the text ads are getting more of the click-through rate, what do the organic ones get? Like, organic.
Say that again.
The point is that the majority of the click-through rate for SERPs is being more and more dominated by paid stuff.
Right. So when you search something in Google, the majority of clicks go towards the top results, and usually the top results are ads.
Right. That's right.
But what you're saying is that there's the typical stat that the top, say 1 to 3 organic organic search results get like 20% of the clicks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But I'm seeing that some of the text ads are running now. If we're getting a 20 to 30% click-through rate, I mean, that's got to be the majority of what's getting clicked.
Right. So I'm going to be adding this to the course, but yeah, like when you do a really targeted text ad for e-commerce, it's going to get just a huge click-through rate.
Yeah.
If it's not getting above 10%, and it's a really targeted, almost like product, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, text ads can get really high click-through rates. Shopping ads aren't going to get as high because of just the nature of like, it's almost like a brochure and there's going to be multiple people selling the same thing. And like, that's why shopping ads are good, because you don't have to be the number one result to get clicks. You can bid cheap and maybe you show up as the number 5 or something, and people just, the clicks and the traffic more naturally disperse versus the text ads and the search results. It's kind of like you have to be the number 1 to 3 to really get anything out of it.
Yeah, I also feel back to what I was talking about before. I feel like when I look at the suppliers that I know you spend a lot of money on in terms of to the collection pages and bidding on those brands for like text ads, those always rank the best too, without all this extra SEO work, if that makes
That's
sense.
interesting.
Just having the page, just so much traffic going to the page at all times. Makes it kind of rank the best. So I mean, Google has stated there are, obviously backlinks still matter, but I think at the end of the day, if they can get that user experience data through paid ads, I think it's going more and more in that direction. Why wouldn't
Well,
they? How much less is it going to cost them?
we've had this kind of theory in the past, like maybe when we were doing Pinterest and stuff, that it's almost like traffic gets you more traffic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meaning if Google sees traffic coming in through Pinterest, through Facebook, whatever, we've seen that result in bumps in our Google organic traffic.
Yeah, and now I think there like a couple months ago there was that leaked document where the Google Ads team was, I don't know if this was real or fake, but apparently the Google Ads team was doing something with the search team. Like they were
Yeah.
asking the search team, let's make some modifications here so we can make a little more money. So I think that dynamic is always, it's not explicitly stated, but it's always going on. It's always going on. They make their money from ads. They don't care about, and they want to reward those that are making more money, that are giving them money, especially if the page experience is good, because then it's a win-win-win for everyone.
And running Google ads to a page would give Google the best data for judging on-page experience, because theoretically, if the traffic is coming from Pinterest, you don't know what they were looking at on Pinterest, you don't know what they were searching, whatever, versus if someone is searching e-bike on Google and then they click your paid ad for e-bike, and then they can see how the user interacts on that page, they know the intent of the user. They can gather more data and build more confidence for that particular page and allow it to rank higher.
Yeah.
So a
Absolutely.
little side conversation, but
Yeah, absolutely.
building in public, they call it, I believe.
Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it?
It's stupid. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Again, go to Build Assets Online. You want to book a free strategy call with us. See if we can help you grow your high-ticket dropshipping store. If you've never built one before, we guarantee it'll be profitable within the first $1,000 of ad spend, because we've done this so many times. So many times. We know what to do. So, with that being said, everyone, take it or leave it. But as always, take it easy.